When HOA Karen walked into my hospital with fake documents and switched my critically ill newborn with another baby, she thought she'd found the perfect victims. She was wrong. As hospital director, I had the power to destroy her completely, and that's exactly what I did. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching, also like and subscribe for more stories. The sound of my newborn daughter's cry filled the hospital room like music. After 18 hours of labor, my wife Sarah finally held our miracle baby, Emma. Her tiny fingers wrapped around mine, and I felt my heart explode with love I never knew existed. "She's perfect," Sarah whispered, tears streaming down her exhausted face. "Look at her little nose, just like yours." I kissed Sarah's forehead. "You did amazing. Both my girls are perfect." As the hospital director of St. Mary's Medical Center, I had seen thousands of births. But nothing prepared me for the overwhelming emotion of holding my own child. Emma was born with a rare heart condition that required immediate surgery, but our pediatric team assured us she would be fine. "Mr. Chin," Nurse Rodriguez entered quietly. "We need to take Emma to the NICU for her pre-surgery monitoring." I nodded, knowing the procedure by heart. Sarah kissed Emma's tiny forehead before letting her go. What we didn't know was that Karen Matthews had been watching our family for weeks. The same HOA president who had been terrorizing our neighborhood with fake violation notices had now escalated to something unthinkable. She had been studying our hospital routines, planning something that would destroy our lives forever. 3 hours later, chaos erupted. "Dr. Chin?" Nurse Rodriguez burst into our room, panic written across her face. "There's been a terrible mistake with Emma." My blood turned to ice. "What kind of mistake?" "Sir, we just discovered that the baby in our NICU isn't Emma. Someone switched her with another infant." A woman came in claiming to be from Child Protective Services with official-looking papers. She took Emma and left a different baby in her place. The room started spinning. "What do you mean, different baby?" "The baby we've been monitoring has different blood type, different weight, different medical records. We only discovered it when the lab results came back wrong." "Sir, someone deliberately replaced your daughter." Sarah's scream pierced through me like a knife. I caught her as she collapsed. "Get me security footage now." I roared, my director authority kicking in despite my personal terror. Within minutes, we were huddled around the security monitor. The footage showed a middle-aged woman with short blonde hair, wearing a fake badge and carrying forged documents. But the shocking part was what we saw next. She had brought another baby with her in a carrier and switched them carefully. She walked out with my Emma while leaving the other infant in Emma's place. "I know her," Nurse Rodriguez whispered. "That's Karen Matthews from the Willowbrook HOA. She lives in your neighborhood. She was here last month complaining about the parking fees." My heart stopped. Karen Matthews. The same woman who had been terrorizing our neighborhood for months with her ridiculous HOA complaints. The same woman who had been trying to get us evicted because our lawn was 2 inches too high, according to her standards. Why would she take Emma? Sarah sobbed. The answer came from our head of security. "Sir, we checked her background. Karen Matthews lost her own baby daughter 20 years ago in a car accident. She never recovered mentally. Her husband divorced her and she became obsessed with controlling everything around her. The baby she left behind appears to be from City General Hospital across town. We're checking with other facilities now. She's been planning this for months," Security Chief Davis continued. "We found her car in our parking garage with detailed notes about hospital schedules, staff rotations and security camera blind spots. This wasn't impulsive, this was calculated." My hands shook with rage. This psychotic woman had not only stolen my critically ill newborn daughter but had brought some other innocent baby into this nightmare. Another family was suffering just like us. "Sir," Nurse Rodriguez added quietly, "the other baby, she's from the Rodriguez family. They're migrant workers." Karen specifically targeted families she thought wouldn't fight back or have resources to investigate. My medical training kicked in as I realized the full scope of Karen's evil plan. She had targeted vulnerable families, studied our weaknesses, and orchestrated a scheme that endangered multiple innocent lives. "Give me everything on Karen Matthews. Every HOA complaint, every neighbor interaction, every piece of documentation. I want her entire life history on my desk in an hour. Track her down. Now." My voice was deadly calm. But Karen was smarter than we thought. She had planned this perfectly. The fake CPS documents looked authentic. She had studied our hospital procedures. She knew exactly when Emma would be alone. 8 hours passed. No trace of Karen, Emma, Isabella, or answers about her elaborate baby switching scheme. Sarah was sedated after having a complete breakdown when she learned that not only was Emma missing, but we had been caring for a stranger's baby for hours without knowing. I sat beside her bed, making phone call after phone call. Police, FBI, private investigators, hospital security from 5 different facilities. Everyone was looking, but Karen had vanished with both babies. Maria Rodriguez sat in the chair next to Sarah's bed, clutching Isabella's tiny hospital bracelet and sobbing in Spanish. Even though we spoke different languages, the language of a mother's grief needed no translation. Both our children were missing because of one woman's insane plan. Carlos, I said to Isabella's father through our translator, I promise you we will find both our daughters. I will use every resource I have as hospital director to bring them home. Carlos nodded, tears in his eyes. Gracias, doctor. Isabella es todo para nosotros. She is everything to us. At that moment, I realized Karen had targeted the Rodriguez family specifically because they were vulnerable, limited English, undocumented status, fewer resources to fight back. She probably thought they wouldn't even report the crime. She was wrong. Then my phone rang. Dr. Chin? This is Detective Morris. We found them. My heart nearly exploded. Are they safe? We tracked Karen to a cabin in the mountains. Sir, you need to prepare yourself. I drove like a madman to the location. When I arrived, I saw Karen sitting on the porch of a rundown cabin, holding my Emma in one arm while another baby lay crying in a car seat beside her. Karen. I shouted, approaching carefully. She looked up with wild eyes. Stay back. These are my babies now. The hospitals made mistakes giving them to the wrong families. Karen, that's my daughter Emma. She needs medical attention. She has a heart condition. And that other baby is Isabella. She needs to go back to her real parents too. No. They're both mine now. I'm a better mother than any of you. Those Mexican people don't deserve a baby, and you rich doctors think you own everything. I deserve these babies after losing my own. I've been planning this for months. My blood boiled at her racist comments about the Rodriguez family. Both babies were crying weakly. My medical training told me they were both in distress. Without proper care and their medications they could both die. Karen, listened to me carefully. Both babies are critically ill. Emma has a heart defect, and Isabella was born premature. They will die without immediate medical attention. You're lying. They're perfect. Just like my baby was before those drunk drivers killed her. Karen's voice broke, but her grip on Emma remained tight. Detective Morris positioned his team around the cabin while I kept talking. Karen, I understand you lost a daughter. That's every parent's worst nightmare. But these babies aren't her. They belong with their families and they need help right now. No. I studied both hospitals for months. I know what I'm doing. I can take care of them better than anyone. Those people don't even speak English properly, and you're too busy being important to raise a baby. Karen's grip tightened on Emma, while the other baby lay motionless in the car seat. That's when my years as hospital director kicked in with full force. Officers, move now. Both babies are dying. The tactical team moved swiftly. Karen screamed as they carefully took Emma from her arms while another officer grabbed the car seat with the other baby. I grabbed my daughter, checking her pulse. Weak but alive. The other baby was barely breathing. Get 2 ambulances. Now. As both babies were rushed to their respective hospitals, Karen was arrested. Isabella was reunited with Maria and Carlos Rodriguez at City General, while Emma was brought back to our NICU. Both babies survived but barely. The Rodriguez family stayed at our hospital that night. I made sure they had a private room and full medical support. Dr. Chin, Maria said through our translator the next morning, how can we ever thank you? By making sure Karen pays for what she did to both our families, I replied. The next day, while Emma was stable and recovering from her surgery, I began planning the most comprehensive legal destruction of a person's life I had ever orchestrated. My first call was to our hospital's legal team. I want Karen Matthews charged with double kidnapping, child endangerment, fraud, conspiracy, hate crimes, and attempted murder. She endangered 2 critically ill infants and targeted a vulnerable immigrant family with racist intent. Maximum penalties on everything. Sir, our lawyer replied, with the evidence we have, we can probably get her life in prison. Good. That's just the beginning. My second call was to the state medical board. I want a full investigation into how someone bypassed security at 2 different hospitals so easily. And I want recommendations that ensure this never happens again. Third, I called my personal attorney. I want to sue Karen Matthews for every penny she has. And I want the Rodriguez family included in the lawsuit with full legal representation at my expense. Second, to my contacts at the state medical board. I want a full investigation into how someone bypassed our security so easily. Third, to my lawyer. I want to sue Karen Matthews for every penny she has. But my real revenge was just beginning. As hospital director, I had access to information and resources that would destroy Karen's life legally and completely. But more importantly, I had the moral authority of someone who had nearly lost everything to this woman's calculated evil. I discovered Karen had been using fake credentials to run her HOA harassment campaigns for years. She had no legal authority to fine neighbors or issue violations. Everything she had done for the past 5 years was fraud. More disturbing, I found evidence she had been stalking pregnant women in our neighborhood for months, taking photos and planning which babies to target. I called every family in our neighborhood that Karen had terrorized. This is Dr. Chin from St. Mary's Hospital. I have evidence that Karen Matthews has been operating illegally as HOA president while planning to kidnap babies from our community. Every fine she issued, every violation notice, every threat, all illegal. We can sue her collectively. Within 48 hours, 23 families joined a massive lawsuit against Karen. But the real bombshell came when I discovered Karen's computer files during the investigation. Dr. Chin, Detective Morris called, "You need to see this." Karen had detailed files on 12 different families in your neighborhood. Photos of pregnant women, hospital schedules, even some medical records she somehow obtained illegally. She was planning multiple kidnappings. The scope of Karen's plan was horrifying. She had been preparing to steal babies from multiple families, with detailed notes about which children to target and which families would be easiest to manipulate or intimidate. The Rodriguez family was specifically chosen because Karen believed they wouldn't fight back due to legal status. But I wasn't finished. I reached out to every major news station in the region. I have a story about an HOA president who orchestrated an elaborate baby switching scheme targeting 2 newborn babies from different hospitals, including racist targeting of an immigrant family. The story exploded across social media within hours. Karen's face was everywhere with the headline, "HOA Karen's Baby Switching Horror, Racist Attack on 2 Families." The video of her arrest went viral, showing her screaming about deserving the babies while holding 2 critically ill infants. National news picked up the story. CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. Everyone wanted to interview the families. The Rodriguez family, with my support and translation services, bravely told their story of being targeted because Karen thought they were easy victims. Karen's employer, a real estate company, fired her within hours of the story breaking. Her insurance company dropped her policy. Her apartment complex evicted her for bringing negative publicity. Every aspect of her life crumbled instantly. But the public reaction was unlike anything I had ever seen. The combination of baby kidnapping, targeting immigrant families, and HOA abuse struck a nerve with people across the country. #Justice for Emma and Isabella trended on social media for weeks. Donations poured in for the Rodriguez family's legal fees and medical expenses. Emma and Isabella became symbols of innocent victims surviving a racist predator's attack. The contrast couldn't have been clearer, 2 beautiful babies nearly killed by one woman's hatred and delusions. During the trial, the full scope of Karen's planning became public. Prosecutors revealed she had been stalking pregnant women for over a year, collecting medical information illegally, and specifically targeting families she considered unworthy of having children. This defendant didn't just kidnap babies on impulse, the prosecutor stated. She orchestrated an elaborate racist scheme over many months. She studied 2 different hospitals' procedures, forged official documents, illegally obtained medical records, and specifically targeted an immigrant family she believed wouldn't fight back. She endangered the lives of 2 critically ill newborn babies while traumatizing their families with calculated cruelty. Karen's defense attorney tried to argue temporary insanity due to grief, but the evidence was overwhelming. The detailed planning, the fake documents, the racist targeting, the systematic harassment, this wasn't a momentary breakdown. This was calculated evil. Sarah testified through tears about the terror of losing Emma when she needed surgery most, and the additional horror of discovering we had been caring for a stranger's baby while Emma was missing. Her words destroyed everyone in the courtroom. Maria Rodriguez also testified about their nightmare, speaking through a translator about discovering their baby Isabella was gone and replaced with Emma, not knowing if their daughter was alive or dead. When she described Karen's racist comments about those Mexican people not deserving babies, several jury members visibly cringed. "She called us animals," Maria said through tears. "She said our baby would be better off with a real American family." All we wanted was to love our daughter. When it was my turn to testify, I looked directly at Karen and spoke with all the authority of my medical training and parental rage. When it was my turn to testify, I looked directly at Karen. As a father, Karen Matthews stole the most precious thing in my life when she was at her most vulnerable. As a doctor, she endangered not just my daughter's life but Isabella Rodriguez's life by orchestrating this elaborate, racist switching scheme that removed both babies from critical medical care. As a neighbor, she had been terrorizing families in our community for months before escalating to this unthinkable crime. She targeted the Rodriguez family specifically because of their ethnicity and immigration status, believing they would be too afraid to fight back. She doesn't deserve sympathy, she deserves the full consequences of her calculated evil. The courtroom was silent when I finished. Karen stared at the table, finally understanding that her victims included someone with the power and resources to ensure she faced complete justice. The jury deliberated for only 90 minutes. Guilty on all charges. Karen was sentenced to 35 years in prison for double kidnapping, child endangerment, fraud, conspiracy, hate crimes, and attempted murder. The judge added additional time because both babies were critically ill infants and because of the racist targeting. Ms. Matthews, the judge said, your grief over losing your own child 20 years ago doesn't excuse orchestrating an elaborate scheme that terrorized 2 families and endangered 2 innocent babies based on your racist delusions. You didn't just steal babies, you specifically targeted a vulnerable immigrant family because you believed they deserved less than you. Your actions were calculated, planned, and showed complete disregard for human life and basic human dignity. You will spend the rest of your productive life in prison thinking about the consequences of your choices. But my revenge still wasn't complete. The civil lawsuit resulted in Karen losing everything she had ever owned. Her house, her car, her savings, her retirement fund, all went to paying damages to the 23 families she had harassed plus our family and the Rodriguez family. The total judgment was over $2 million, ensuring Karen would never have financial stability again. The HOA was dissolved entirely when we proved Karen had been operating it fraudulently for years while planning multiple kidnappings. The entire neighborhood was freed from her reign of terror. More importantly, the Rodriguez family received full legal residency status when their case became a symbol of hate crimes against immigrants. Maria and Carlos were offered permanent jobs at my hospital, with full benefits and educational assistance. Their daughter Isabella would grow up as an American citizen with every opportunity available to her. Emma made a full recovery from her heart surgery and grew into a healthy, happy toddler. Isabella thrived as well and our families became close friends. The 2 girls who were nearly destroyed by Karen's hatred became symbols of resilience and hope. 6 months after the trial, I received a letter from prison. Dr. Chin, I know you'll never forgive me and I don't expect you to. I was so broken after losing my daughter that I lost my mind completely. But that doesn't excuse what I did to you and the Rodriguez family. Seeing you with your perfect family made me hate you, but that wasn't your fault. The racist things I said about Maria and Carlos, I'm ashamed of who I became. I'm getting mental health treatment in prison, but I know I can never undo the terror I caused. I hope Emma and Isabella grow up healthy and happy, and I hope the Rodriguez family finds peace in America. I'm sorry for the pain I caused both your families. Karen. I showed the letter to Sarah and to Maria Rodriguez when she came for Isabella's follow-up appointment. Do you forgive her? Sarah asked. I looked at Emma playing in her crib, healthy and perfect, then at Isabella laughing with her mother. I forgive her for being broken by grief, I said. But I'll never forgive her for targeting innocent babies and a vulnerable family with racist hatred. Some actions can't be undone, and some people have to live with the consequences of their choices. Maria nodded, understanding even before the translator spoke. Allah hizo su election, she said. She made her choice. 3 years later, I was promoted to regional hospital director overseeing 7 medical centers. My experience with Emma and Isabella's case led to completely redesigned security protocols that have prevented similar incidents across the region. The Chin Rodriguez protocol is now standard at hospitals nationwide. Karen remains in prison receiving mental health treatment. She'll be eligible for parole when she's 73 years old. Emma is now 4 years old, completely healthy, and has no memory of those terrifying first days of her life. She calls me Daddy, and brings me drawings from preschool. Isabella is equally healthy and happy, speaking both Spanish and English fluently. The 2 families live in the same neighborhood now, the peaceful community that replaced Karen's HOA tyranny. Our children play together, and we have barbecues where Maria teaches Sarah to make tamales while Carlos and I discuss soccer. Sometimes I think about Karen's letter and wonder if she's truly changed. But then I remember the detailed planning, the racist targeting, the calculated way she endangered two innocent babies' lives. Some people break from grief and deserve compassion. Others use grief as an excuse to hurt innocent people based on hatred and prejudice. Karen crossed multiple lines that can never be uncrossed when she put our daughters' lives in danger and targeted a family because of their ethnicity. She got exactly what she deserved: complete destruction of the life she used to terrorize others, and a prison cell where she can think about her choices for the next 35 years. Emma and Isabella got what they deserved: a chance to grow up safe, healthy, and loved in a community freed from fear. The woman who tried to replace our babies and destroy an immigrant family learned too late that she had messed with the wrong families. Her racist revenge fantasy turned into her worst nightmare when she discovered that one of her victims had the power, resources, and determination to ensure she faced the full consequences of her actions. Karen wanted to steal our children because she thought we had everything and she had nothing. In the end, she was right about one thing: we do have everything that matters. And she truly has nothing left except the consequences of her choices. Some people call it revenge. I call it justice. And Emma calls me daddy, Isabella calls Carlos papa, and both our families call America home, which is all that really matters.